Welcome back everyone to my low-level playthrough of Chrono Trigger on the Wii Virtual Console. Last episode, Crono, Marle, and Lucca gained magic from Spekkio here, the God of War, and he said basically bring any new character that we get to see him. So we're going to bring Robo to see him, and unfortunately because Robo is not alive, he can't gain magic, but Spekkio says that his lasers will function as shadow magic. You still want to bring Robo here because we want to learn some duel techniques. He'll learn a duel technique with Crono, Lucca, and also with Marle. So after this battle, we'll switch Lucca out for Marle and just get the double technique with Robo and Marle. And they'll have all the techniques that we can get at this point. And then we'll go put our magic to use. Also put some of those time gates to use. We'll actually be doing a little bit of a sequence break. We'll be heading back into Prehistoria, 65 million BC, to get a good piece of equipment. And that good piece of equipment will basically allow Lucca to basically be able to survive for another upcoming boss. Upcoming bosses can be kind of tricky, but he has a pattern, and that pattern can be exploited. And along with that, like extra armor, that good armor, we'll be able to take the boss down. So let's get Robo and Marle their technique. They'll get a I think it's Orb Beam. You basically heal another healing type technique. So just putting something out there. Marle just got hit with ice. She's a water elemental. When you get hit by your own element, you actually take a little less damage. So that's gonna be really helpful in one fight later on. Later on, there's an optional fight, and it's gonna be with Frog, who's also a water elemental, and you hopefully that your his opponent basically casts ice more often than the other type of spell, because that'll help Frog take less damage. You can see the Robo's laser spin does perfectly fine in dealing magic damage to Spekkio here. So there's Orb Beam. And Spekkio's angry, but yeah, he'll get over it. That's going to be important. Like I said, anytime we get a new character, to bring that character to Spekkio. We will eventually get a new character here in 65 million AD, or BC. But that won't be for a while. Let's go get that armor, though, that I talked about. We're going to be basically going into an area that we shouldn't be going into for a long time, but luckily all the enemies on the way are runnable, so we can don't have to worry about getting into any encounters that we can't flee from, and thus gain experience. One of the interesting things, it'll be a place where we'll be able to gain some money and some good equipment later. A lot of these enemies in the prehistoric time, they drop like trash loot. They drop like feathers, fangs, and then you can trade those things for at the trading hub for weapons and armors, and you get some pretty good stuff out of it. I don't know how prehistoric folks have guns though, but yeah, you can actually trade for like guns, and yeah, it's weird. I mean, we're in the Stone Age, but they're able to make guns and better armor than folks in the Middle Ages. When they know about iron and steel. So maybe somebody's traveled back in time and taught them stuff before us. We'll grab all the treasures we can. Mid-ethers are much, way too valuable, I guess, right now. With such low magic points on our characters that ether will suffice. We will actually be having to use an ether for the upcoming boss fight. But we won't actually get to see that boss this episode. Which is good because that boss is tough, and we get a save point right before it, so there's the Meso Male. Like I said, really, it's 20 defensive points stronger than the Titan Vest, which is our best armor that we have so far. And I'll basically be switching around, going to miss whoever we want to survive whatever encounter we get into. So we're going to have Lucca absorb the experience from the next boss, so she'll have the Meso Male. Another later boss after that, Robo will gain the experience, so we'll have to put the Meso Male on him to increase his chance of surviving. Let's just get out of here. And then we'll head back to the gate and head back to the end of time. Now, the old man there basically said that before we go jumping around through time, I think we should head back to our own time. That something's going on in there. And when we get back to the end of time, we'll notice that there's a gate to 1000 AD. Unfortunately, it's not the gate that takes you to the Millennial Fair. Although we will be revisiting the Millennial Fair next episode. And eventually we will get a gate that connects the Millennial Fair from the end of time. Just makes you think of the one real Ghostbuster episode. Like the Ghostbusters were in a parallel universe, and they had to get out, and there was a portal to get out, and it only appeared at a certain time, and they were at like the edge of a cliff, and Egon was like, alright, let's jump, and they jumped, and the portal appeared as they were falling, and they thought that like Egon properly guessed that, but properly calculated that, but it turned out he just kind of guessed. So here we have these mystics, and they basically say that monsters, mystics, and humans fought a long time ago. We kind of saw that when the monsters kidnapped Queen Lene when we first went to the Middle Ages, 600 AD. Well, now we learned a little bit more about that. So there's this weird pyramid up there to the north. Can't do anything with it yet, so we're going to have to come back later on. Marle's pendant is the key to opening that one up. Now I'm just looking for the Elder's house here, because get some tabs here. There's one on this desk up here. And then there was one downstairs in the kitchen. Saw it by the bread there. And we were told that there's an old man over to the west. Let's go see who this old man is. He's going to be someone we've encountered before. It's Melkor, the swordsman, or the sword salesman who was selling weapons at the Millennial Fair. The only real upgrade there is the red katana. And the stuff that Melkor's selling here, we will be able to buy it later on at outside the Millennial Fair. Remember, we rescued Fritz, who was the son of the shop owner, and yeah, they're gonna get some new inventory in when we get back there. We'll also get another chance to do some shelter farming, which I'll do off screen to be able to afford that red katana. Now, the red katana isn't necessary, but I always like to play a little more cautiously. If I have to grind a little bit to be a little more cautious, I'll do that. I don't really mind grinding. You just put something on in the background or watch things while you're pressing the A button, running back and forth. So we have an unescapable counter here. So we're just going to let Crono and Marle get knocked out. It may take a little bit, but eventually they'll be taken out, and then we can just use Robo's laser spin to finish them all off. There's quite a few inescapable battles coming up, and Robo's laser spin can do wonders against them. So just right around. And of course, we want them to attack Marle and Crono, so they're going after Robo there. So part of, I guess, what makes the thing survivable is most of these random encounters, the enemies, have terrible speed, which means that you basically outspeed them and be able to act before they do, which lets you, for the most part, run away. Now the boss coming up, what makes him difficult is he has a really high speed, and he'll actually be, at some points, being able to take 2 turns to one turn. Normally the shoe is on the other foot, and we're taking multiple turns for the enemy's single turn. Once again, with proper technique and a little bit of luck, we can take the boss out. Now, one thing we also needed to buy, we bought them from Melkor there. We wanted to buy some mid-tonics. Mid-tonics heal 200 hit points. You know, no one has 200 hit points. There's going to be some attacks from the next boss that can't be healed with just a 50 hit point tonic. And hit points are going to be, hit point management for our characters is going to be very, very important for the next boss. I think right now the boss is waiting. As Tom Petty once said, the waiting is the hardest part. Eventually these guys will finish Marle off. And once Robo absorbs this experience, we're going to switch him out for Lucca. Now, because the game just gave you magic, a lot of the enemies in this cave are going to be only vulnerable to magic, and that includes the boss. So they gave you a new toy to play with, and now they're going to say, hey, go play with it. Lucca has a really high magic stat. We'll see that when we fight the boss. She'll be doing the most damage. So we obviously want Lucca in our party for this boss that's susceptible to magic. We can easily switch characters out. We don't have to go back to the end of time to switch them out. We can just press the Y button and you can switch characters out basically on the fly. So there's no more inescapable encounters here. So just run around, run from everything, collect all the treasure. If you're 100% in this game, you will have to come back to this cave later on to get a treasure chest. one of those black chests that are sealed with a mysterious power. So you want to take notes, because otherwise, like, by the time you're able to open up that those boxes, it's gonna be a long time. Probably forget about this one little black box sitting here. But you said if you're 100%ing, you don't want to miss it. Palette swaps with the rollies. We saw back in 600 AD. Now they're roly-polies. And we got the bats. At least they're not like the bats in Final Fantasy II. Not that they're difficult enemies, but they're time-consuming enemies because they usually appear in large groups, and they cast that bloodsuck spell. So you gotta watch the animation for the bloodsuck spell for basically every single bat. That's basically how they just attack. So you're just watching that spell over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. These ones. These weird weevil type enemies. I'm having flashbacks to my grandmother's house. Sometimes we lived, the school I went to, grade school, was right across the street from where my grandma lived. And sometimes when my parents were working, we would just go to our grandma's house and wait until my dad got off of work to have him come pick us up. And so sometimes we'd be reading like grandma's books and stuff like that. She had this one book we always found interesting. It was all about bugs. And all these different types of bugs on them. And I think weevils were probably in there. And she also had this lion that you press a button on its belly and it would go, "Roar! Did I scare you?" The thing was so worn down from all the grandkids and stuff, pushing its belly all the time. There's an interesting group of photos somebody took. It was, new life stuffed animals, and then after they've been loved for years, just how they faded. But at least they were loved. And we're loving this save point here because, like I said, the next boss, very, very difficult. So it's good that we have a save point here to heal ourselves up and prepare to take on the boss in the next episode. Take care, have a good one. Thanks for following along. See you then. Bye.